just a continuation. We're keeping it going. We are staying with the flow. This episode is going to be dedicated to all of the head of householders and the married filing jointly or separately. This is dedicated for you guys. I just want to give much love and appreciation to all the listeners out there, people who are steadily going to the website. I'm starting to see the notifications. Appreciate it. And hopefully you guys are joining the Dove Club so we can give you additional content to pretty much enhance our financial literacy. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the child tax credit. It's only qualifying to those individuals who have children or a qualifying child. So just want to give brief description of what it is, like kind of like a dictionary definition of what a child tax credit is. So it is given to American taxpayers for each qualifying child who is under the age of 17 at the end of the tax year. There has been recent legislation as of December 2017 that increased it to 2,000 from 1,000. It was previously 1,000. So it is pretty much meant to give additional tax relief for those who, don't make as much. So as it says, a credit that reduces the taxpayer's liability on a dollar for dollar basis. And again, intended to provide an extra measure of tax relief for taxpayers with qualifying dependents. So that is pretty much what it is. So based upon your taxable income, as we talked about in the last episode when we broke down that 1040 form, you're going to get that credit. And hopefully you'll be able to receive the entirety of the credit based on what the tax table that you fall under. And if you do, that is additional money that's being on top of what it is that you've earned. So we just want to pretty much talk about the different options and pretty much starting to build foundational generational wealth. You got to start somewhere. So this is a good start as far as contributing to your kids, those dependents' future, giving them a great stepping stone once they enter in college and into the workforce itself in their designated careers. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to go ahead and head this one because I use it every day at work, trying to give a lot of people additional information, different ways on how to, help their kids, because there's a lot of us adults out here that just, that's extra money for me. Oh, thank the Lord. Now, then your kids are sending off and they ain't got no money to do nothing. So, we gotta.
I have no kids. That's why I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah.
Brother got it.
We got children. We got children. One for the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. 3 of them. Yes.
Lord.
So, what I basically do and try to educate people to do is use that child tax credit to help fund their future. So there's a few different ways you can do it. The simplest way would be I'm going to open up a custodial account because those are free. You don't have to worry about having a certain balance in the account to waive monthly service fees, monthly bank fees, or anything like that, because it is for the kid. It's for the child. So you have that. Again, that isn't earning money. It's just sitting there at 0.01%. So you're not earning anything with that. So the other option is a CD. You can do a CD. You can lock it up and do it in concert with when you typically receive your tax return. So that way when it's time for it to mature, so 12 month, 11 month, depending on when you typically file, when it matures, when you receive that money, whether it be $5,000 in total that you got, however much it is that the kids ended up earning you back, you go ahead and apply that towards that CD, because you have that 7 that 7-10 business day grace period to add additional funds and then lock it up for a term. And those rates are like 1.75, 1%, depending on the balance. Of course, the bank will pay you more if you're carrying a larger balance in that account. So to start off small, I would say just start with the savings, have that savings there, carry some of it over at the right time to the CD, set that term to 11, 12 months, maybe a 10-month, depending on when you filed. If you filed late or received the money in May, then you probably want to do like a 10 or 11 month, because you'll probably more than likely go ahead and file on time because you're trying to get that money.
Yeah.
So you can set yourself up and your kids up as well for that future. The other option is a high yield savings account. So you can always do those. Those are online. They're always going to be higher, a little bit more competitive, because banks have a lot of regulations. They have more overhead, so the interest they're offering isn't as high. So you can get above 2%, above 1.75, even though in our economy now, there's a lot of questions on what the future is going to bring, with the rates continuing to drop because there isn't enough economic growth within the U.S. The GDP isn't meeting the expectations, so they've been dropping rates down, which is great for lending, but not for those savers moving forward. So online is pretty much a good option that you have to take. Now, just going to tell you what I do. Just going to keep it real simple. I have a savings account. I have a high yield savings account, and I have a CD, and used to have a 529 college share plan, and I'll tell you why I used to later on. So what I do is I siphon some money off, usually like 10, 20 bucks, and I contribute it to their savings account every time I get paid. So every time I get paid, I'm putting money to their savings account.
Mm-hmm.
Then, because I'm a huge budgeter, depending on what I have left, whether it be 35, whether it be 30, whether it be 60, whatever it is, I divide that by 3, and then, because I have 3 kids, so you divide it by how many kids you got, and I put that towards the high yield savings account. So now I'm pretty much paying twice for my kids building to their future. And then with the CD, that's based on the tax credit. So when that money comes in, it goes to the CD because it'll mature at that time. So the savings account, the one that's earning nothing at the bank, is the one that I'm using to fund the CD, because the CD that I have is at the bank.
Hmm.
So I just transfer the savings that I've been putting in throughout the entire year towards that CD with the child tax credit that I've earned. Mm-hmm. And so now they have pretty much, it's me being disciplined and making sure I'm contributing something and not just waiting on that 2,000 or that 4,000 or that 6,000.
See what you're saying.
Yeah. So I'm just building it up that way so they can have something to move around with, whether it be a business that they want to start in concert with them doing dance, gymnastics, football, basketball, whatever it may be, or they need a car because they're going away, or they have an apartment, or whatever the case may be, whatever they're trying to use it for, the money's there and accessible. Why I say I used to have a college share plan is because those 529 plans are pretty strict. They do flow with the market, which is good if you know how to diversify your portfolio, because they do allow you to do that, fund different type of indexes and ETFs, which is cool. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. But further research upon discovery as well, it's dedicated for college, like literally for college. So if you're distributing out of that and you're not using that money for school, book supplies, room board, things of that nature, you're gonna get taxed on it. And I'm like, oh,
wow,
okay, all right. Close that account, and I paid the taxes on it last year. So that account is closed. So I don't have that anymore. And it just, what if they don't go to college? What if they don't go to college? So all that time, that money being in there growing, that's a bigger tax bill for me when it's time to shut that thing down. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna transfer it over to the HY, is what I call it, the high yield savings account, and I'm just gonna let it sit there and earn interest. I'm just gonna let it flow. If they change the rate, they change the rate, but I know it's still gonna be 10 times, 12 times, 20 times higher than what the bank will offer me. And I just stay disciplined with that $10, that $20, whatever it is, to their accounts throughout the year, and just roll it on over to that CD and just keep the cycle going. Right now, on pace, if I'm able to keep it up and earn a little bit more money, by the time they're 18, they'll each have $30,000. So that's pretty much my tea that I had to spill. Hopefully it sizzled, burned you a little bit, so it'll be a constant reminder of some good information. You'll remember this day. But I feel like that it was very important to share, and so that way people are not just deciding to use that money for themselves, but yet planning for their kids' future, education, business plan, whatever it may be. You don't know what they're going to need the money for, but as long as they have it accessible. And I see that as a starting and stepping stone to building a sense of generational wealth. That they know you're educating them, you're letting them know, showing what it is that you're doing to prepare to prepare them for their future, so they can prepare their kids for theirs. So that information just keeps passing on down the line, and now we're uplifting many cultures, many people of racial ethnicities. Ooh, some words I cannot say. You're raising everyone up together, because I used this funny analogy on the previous episode, that it's just like a crab in the bucket type of situation, but there's a ladder there. So you're able to somewhat climb and get each other out. Because, in some senses, when you pull a crab out of the bucket, it's attached to another crab because of the claws. So if one has found its way to get itself out of it, more than likely it's pulling somebody else out with them. So that's just my little weird, quirky analogy that I used before. But yeah, that's really what it's all about. Just trying to uplift everyone together. Not only will it help us actually be able to use our gifts to help one another, we're actually living our life's purpose, but on another scale, it is helping the U.S. economy, because there's more people saving, a lot more people being able to spend on the things that they want and need for tomorrow, because they did what they needed to do along the way by saving, being properly informed and educated. So that's what it is on the CTC, the child tax credit. Always got to have a plan for the kids, send them off right, set them up for success, and that's it. That's it. Anything you want to add? Anything that you learned today? Nah, you good? You good?
Nah, it was very informative. I didn't know specifically about that college thing. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But it was definitely for when it's my time, start a family and all that, I know what to do for sure.
Yeah. So any questions, any concerns? As always, we're looking for questions, of course. Sometimes we might even be looking for topics as well. So you're able to give us different topics we can talk about. Even if it's not financial, we'll hear them. We will respond to them because they're always, this is information, this is finances, this is numbers. It can be a little boring, a little tiresome, might even put you to sleep. So there's something else you want to talk about with us because you're interested in knowing our perspective, go ahead and share it. Wilson to our email at info@wilsonfinancialmgmt.com. That's info@wilsonfinancialmgmt.com. Again, when you send us those emails, Join the Dub Club. We will be responding, Jesus, I cannot speak, responding directly live from the Patreon. So please go ahead and join the Dub Club. Just low as $5 a month. We appreciate it. Resources to further expand our mission, our purpose, our goal in education and educating a generation on financial literacy. So, Aldi, 5,000.